We speak today because history was hidden, rewritten, and denied. We admit that African kingdoms, Arab traders, and European empires all played roles in slavery.
We watch people chained at ports. We traded lives for weapons and support. We stayed silent while families were torn. Now we speak because the truth must be known.
We apologize for the pain and destruction, for the shipping routes and forced production, for selling people into generations of suffering, for helping systems built on human trafficking.
We cannot erase what was done before, but we will not hide the truth anymore. From African coast to Arabian shores, millions were lost in these wars.
We admit that slavery existed before Europe crossed the Atlantic Ocean. African kingdoms fought wars and sold prisoners to merchants for profit and protection. Arab slave traders moved Africans across North Africa, the Middle East, and the Indian Ocean for centuries. European nations expanded the trade into a massive racial system tied to plantations and colonial economies. We watched ports grow rich while villages became empty. We saw children separated from mothers and fathers chained below ships. We saw men branded and women sold into labor and exploitation. We saw religion and politics used to justify cruelty. Some African rulers cooperated with European traders because they wanted guns, power, and alliances. Some Arab merchants built businesses around human trafficking routes across deserts and seas. European empires created laws that treated black people as property instead of human beings. The Atlantic slave trade carried millions of Africans to the Americas under violent conditions. Many died during raids, marches to the coast, or the Middle Passage across the ocean. The survivors faced forced labor, torture, family separation, and cultural destruction. We admit that silence protected prophets while suffering spread across continents. We admit that some leaders betrayed their own people for temporary wealth and political advantage. We admit that generations inherited trauma while empires inherited money and infrastructure. We speak now because history cannot heal if truth remains hidden.
We watch people chained at ports.
We watch people chained at
We
ports.
traded lives for weapons and support.
We traded lives.
We stayed silent while families were torn. Now we speak because the truth must be known.
We apologize
For the pain and destruction, for the shipping routes and forced production, for selling people into generations of suffering, for helping systems built on human trafficking. We cannot erase what was done before, but we will not hide the truth anymore. From African coast to Arabian shores, millions were lost in these wars.
We know black Americans still carry the consequences today. Families lost names, languages, traditions, religions, and connections to ancestral homelands. Slave labor helped build economies in the United States, Europe, the Caribbean, and South America. Cotton, sugar, tobacco, and rice industries grew from forced labor systems. Banks, shipping companies, and governments benefited financially from slavery and colonialism. Even after slavery ended, segregation, discrimination, and unequal treatment continued for generations. We understand why anger still exists when the full truth is rarely taught in schools. We understand why many descendants demand recognition, education, and accountability. We admit that history is bigger than one nation or one race. African traders, Arab merchants, and European empires all play roles in this system. Some people resisted slavery and fought against it, but many others participated willingly. We cannot change the decisions made centuries ago, but we can stop denying what happened. We can teach accurate history instead of protecting national pride. We can honor the memory of those who survived and those who never returned home. We can reject racism, exploitation, and historical erasure in the modern world. We speak together because denial only continues the damage. Truth is uncomfortable, but silence is worse.
We remember the ships,
We remember the change.
We remember the march.
We remember the name.
No more hiding facts.
No more rewriting pain.
We speak the truth now.
So history is explained.
We
are not asking for applause. We standing before history with honesty. The past cannot be repaired with words alone. The truth must come before reconciliation.
We remember every stolen life. We remember every broken family. And we promise the truth will no longer be buried, for the comfort of nations.
We return with documents, archives, maps, and testimonies. The evidence survived, even when governments tried to soften the story. Yeah. We saw records written by merchants and naval officers. We saw auction lists, cargo reports, and insurance documents. Human beings were counted beside sugar, cotton, gold, and tobacco. European ports became wealthy from slave voyages and colonial expansion. Some African intermediaries collected taxes and profits from captured people. Arab markets expanded through East Africa and parts of the Middle East. Generations disappeared into labor systems that treated survival as ownership. Families searched for relatives who would never return home again. We admit
that the damage did not stop after slavery officially ended. Colonial governments divided African territories without respecting ethnic groups or cultures. Resources were extracted while local populations remained underdeveloped and exploited.
Railroads, banks, and industries grew from systems connected to forced labor economies.
We know many black communities still struggle with poverty tied to historical inequality.
We know migration, violence, and instability was shaped by these historical systems.
We cannot claim ignorance because historians preserve the evidence for centuries.
We heard the cries from the coastlines. We watched nations protect trade routes. We built wealth while others lost freedom.
Now we speak because the facts survive. We acknowledge every hidden chapter, every nation that looked away, every empire that expanded through suffering, every government that delayed the truth. We will not reduce history to one country alone. The system crossed oceans and continents, and millions carried the consequences into the modern age.
We know descendants still search for identity through DNA records and oral history. Many cannot trace their original languages, tribes, or ancestral homes. Churches, schools, and political institutions often ignore the full scale of the trade. Textbooks simplified slavery while protecting the reputations of powerful empires. Movies and media sometimes removed African and Arab involvement from public discussion. Other narratives ignored European industrial profits built from slave economies. We admit that selective history created confusion between accountability and denial. We understand why many people demand honest education without censorship. We know reparations debates continue across universities, governments, and international organizations. Museums still hold artifacts
taken during colonial occupation and military conquest.
Communities continue asking for historical recognition and cultural restoration. We speak now, cause future generations deserve complete history instead of national propaganda. Truth must belong to the public, not only academic institutions.
We cannot rebuild trust while facts remain politically controlled.
We stand before history without excuses,
Not to
not to erase responsibility.
but to finally admit how far the system reached. The records survive,
the testimonies
survive,
the memory
survive,
and the truth
will continue speaking long after empires fall.